Good afternoon, and welcome to Storytime. My name is Megan Ross, and I am the Director of Religious Education and Engagement here at West Shore Unitarian Universalist Church. And I am so glad that you're here with me today. Have you been noticing signs of spring outside lately? I sure have. I've been seeing little shoots of green, feeling the warmer temperatures, and just noticing a difference outside. Since we're noticing signs of spring, I thought our story today should have a spring theme as well. Our story today is called The Life Cycle of a Frog. Let's begin our story. Our underlay today is green. I wonder what that could be. Maybe some grass? We also have a blue piece here. Wonder if that's sky or maybe some water. Let's read our story and see if we can figure it out. All right. Oh, look. You know what this is? It's a pond, and it's springtime at the pond. And there is a jelly-like cluster of eggs that floats along the pond surface. These eggs are the beginning of frogs. The floating clump of eggs is called frog spawn. Frogs like to lay their eggs in water or wet places. Otherwise, the eggs could dry up and die. The eggs do not have shells. They are inside jelly-like coverings, and as they float, the jelly lets the sunworm come through to the eggs inside. Not all the eggs will survive. Most of the time, the large and slimy mass of eggs is too slippery and too big to be eaten. This is nature's way of protecting them. Some of the smaller clusters of eggs will be eaten by creatures that live near the pond. Slowly, the dark centers of the eggs begin to grow. These become frog embryos, and the embryos grow until they look like small tadpoles. Tadpoles are frog babies. As they grow, they feed off of their own egg yolks. One by one, the tadpoles hatch. They have a head and a tail and a body. They wiggle their tails to swim, and they breathe by getting air from the water through little feathery gills. As they swim, they eat very small plants that stick to larger water plants. These little plants are called algae. 1 week later, the tadpoles start to look different. They are bigger, and their gills have begun to shrink. New gills inside are forming so they can breathe oxygen. Their tails are becoming wider and stronger for swimming. Then something wonderful happens. The base of their tail bulges and their hind legs begin to grow. At 2 months old, the tadpoles dart about the pond as they eat. They're still vegetarians. Vegetarians only eat plant life. The tadpoles get bigger. Now they have hind legs, and behind their heads, bulges appear. They had shed off their tadpole skins and their tadpole lips, and they begin to have the wide mouths of the frog. The tadpoles become tiny frogs. They jump out of the pond and onto the land. Their tails are smaller and smaller, and they finally disappear. The tiny frog begins to eat insects and worms. They aren't vegetarians anymore. Frogs are amphibians. The word amphibian comes from a Greek word that means two lives. An amphibian can live on the land or in the water. Frogs are cold-blooded. That means that their inside body temperatures are about the same as the outside temperature. During the next few years, the frogs will grow to be mature. They will have long, sticky tongues that can catch insects. And one day they will grow up to be adult frogs, so they can lay frog eggs of their own. Frogs have been around for a very long time. Did you know there were frogs on Earth even before the dinosaurs lived? And that is the end of our story about the life cycle of a frog. And now I have some wondering questions for you. I wonder, which part of this story do you think is the most important? I wonder if this story reminds you of any of our Unitarian Universalist rainbow promises. I wonder, how does the tadpole know how to become a frog? I hope you will take some time to think about these questions and maybe wonder with them, with a grown-up or maybe your favorite pet or a friend. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye-bye.